What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're just going to look at another replay that I had against Hero. The fourth episode of the Climb to 1000 is taking a lot longer than what I was expecting. It's just really busy. My classes are just doing midterms left and right now. And if we go over here, you can look at my records. Today I went on a really good win streak. But I would just go on win 2. I guess we can go a little bit lower. This is right when I started to move to the Verniself list. So I lost 3 right off the bat, won 1, lost 1 right away. Then 1, lost 2, won 2, lost 2, lost 3. Won 3, lost 1. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, over and over. And I don't have time to grind 10 matches in a day. Not sure where we ended. I think right here is where we ended before the at the end of the last episode. So yeah, we went down a lot, went back up, got put back down. Finally today we started going on a win streak here. So hopefully, maybe this weekend I'll get enough points we can actually do the next video. Those of you that were excited for the Verniself games, I'm going to apologize. Yeah, this was all with Verniselfs. The 3 wins, 3 losses over and over. And then I switched after the hero games, and then I started winning a lot more. In theory, Verniself is really good. Just a bunch of extenders and stuff. But overall, I was just I'm just getting blown out. Because it doesn't add to the board, anything at all. It just helps you play through stuff. So what was happening was I was just getting blown out by 1 or 2 cards. In Snake Eyes, they contribute up to 2 of your cards now, with Witch and the Deception now. So it's impossible to lock them if they open either of those cards. And yeah, it was just a rough couple of days trying to play at that. If we got more Earth stuff that I could do, because in turn 2 or 3 when I try to play back, then when they have the extra Ash, it really hurts and stuff like that. Whereas with Unicorn, I can take out a vital piece of their extra deck, and then that'll prevent them from going crazy. If I can take out the Fiendsmith Link too, that whole engine just dies. So they have a bunch of dead cards. And at that point, it's just Link material. Not much else you can really do with it. It takes out their Moon, it takes out their the Link 1. I mean, it can be used as a removal with the Engraver. But they can't do any fusion stuff, so they can't end on a negate. They can't use the negate to go through. If it's Yubel, they can't fuse anymore into the TCG exclusive that's just a Foolish Burial for Fiends. So stuff like that. It's nice to be able to do stuff to hinder them. So even if they do have stuff to blow me out of the water, I can still stay in the game longer. But yeah, I guess we can look at the deck list. So we just went back to cash. It's pretty similar. I took out hand traps. I took out hand traps because I was just it just isn't enough for these decks anymore. If I open the Ash Imperm, Snake Eyes is gonna play through that still. They have 9 copies of a Witch, and it just makes the negate. And if they don't want to go for the negate first, they can just go for the other one that searches for a Sinful Spoils card, and then send that back to make the negate right after that. So it just trades for way too much. So what I decided to do instead was go for board breakers. So we're doing Forbidden Droplets and 2 copies of Dark Ruler in the main deck. And then we're still playing Imperms. Because my main thing was like I don't want to play into. Main thing was I don't want to play into a triple tack anymore. It's like if I use like an imperm and they're able to play through, cool. I'm still gonna have 5 cards on my turn to be able to play. But if I like Ash them and they can still play through, and then they go to Hita and they get so much advantage off of that, and then the triple tack take out my way to play or my board breaker, it just becomes impossible. So we switched over to this. Back on the Cashier engine. I'm not playing Birth. It's really good for grind game, but I just opened it up way too many times. And at this point, I'm just keeping the unicorn and not extending further to make like an IP is just what I'd rather do. Because it's just, the brick's just too much. Like you need certain combinations to be able to play through an existing board. So having a brick in the main deck is just super annoying to see, especially if you like open that and then 6 card is Shifter and then you have 2 dead cards in hand now. It's just does not feel good. Like I need as much stuff to be able to play through the board as possible. I'm wondering why I'm playing Droplet with Shifter. They contradict each other, but my thought process is the decks that I need Droplet for are going to die to Shifter anyways. So let them be under Shifter for their turn, and then in the following turns you're going to have Droplet to be able to play through stuff. And if you don't see the Shifter, then you see the Droplet, then you can attempt to break the board more. And it just works really well with stuff like Imperm or Dark Ruler. And then newly we put in the Retaliating Sea in the side deck. This card goes crazy against Snake Eyes. The second they used Hollow, I think Hollow's the only one that works, but they're always going to go through it. And they want to do it early to get the negate up. Or to get the other one out to search for the wanted spell. Or one of the Sinful Spoils. So this card just goes nuts against that. Because then it's going to force them to use their battle phase or go through an SP early. Either way, you're not going to die that turn then. And if they're going first and you drop this, it forces the SP completely. So it runs like the IP play into SP on their setup, and usually you're burning through a lot of their resources doing that. And then we're doing just like a bunch of board breakers, like Raigeki, Lightning Storms, Feather Duster. The deck has a lot of problems against back row, and these have a double working method, because they like Lightning Storm back row is going to force the Desiree, and then when they do that, if you have like a Droplet, you can send whatever you got to do to negate the Desiree. If they and then just like shut down the entire board and the back row's gone, because usually it's Desiree up plus the Omni in I don't remember what her name is, but the Omni as well. So it's going to force one of them, and then the Droplet is going to be able to get rid of the other one. And it's just going to be good overall. Tikaboo, just really good. Dimensional Barrier is really good. It's like your backup plan against like Tempai, and you're always going to be able to get it off a thrust, so no point in playing multiples. And you can thrust yourself, so it's easy. We put in Judgment over the Summoning Curse. Summoning Curse was good, but Judgment just seems a little bit more consistent. If that's all I see, and I don't see any other names, Summoning Curse would be dead in that instance. At the most, it's just going to force them to play a little differently on their turn, but it's not like full stopping them. Whereas Judgment, with like Centurion, you can just completely stop their their Synchro 12, and usually they need to have multiple extenders after that. Like they would need like Emblem plus the token generator to be able to make another Synchro, and then hopefully your engine can actually stop the rest of that. Side deck's still the same mostly. I took out the Shadal Winda package. I just found that every time I went for it, not every time, most of the time I was just getting like stopped on it, like random Veilers, stuff like that, and just exhaust so many of your resources all into one thing. Or it would just be they flip over the guy. Even if it was a Cerberus, which I took out because I'm not playing the Windows stuff anymore, they would just special summon and be the one special summon, and they'd be like, all right, they would negate it, and then no, they would flip it, special summon, and they're like, cool, imperm, turn it off, and that was my entire end board. Maybe I have a unicorn next to it, but that unicorn's not going to be enough to stop them. So it was just a really bad thing to go for most of the time. So instead of just like doing it in later turns, I just decided to take it out completely. Instead, we decided to go for a Dark Charmer, and it was something else. Like one of these was not in here. I don't remember what it was. It might have been the access code. But we threw those back in. Access code is just really good for game over stuff or just pushing for a game. It's just super good. Let's just get into the game though. So against Hero, I win the RPS. We're gonna choose to go first, obviously. Opening ends, we got Room, Imperm, Unicorn, Thrust, and Room. He has Shifter, Dragon, Fairy, Engine, and Called By. So he has a really strong hand, whereas mine has no engine. He's gonna drop the Shifter, and that's fine by me. I'm not gonna lose anything over it. I'm gonna go for Unicorn effect, but I forgot I took out the Birth. So we just take that back real quick. We're just going to set the Imperm in Room. We could set the other room as well. But in a normal situation, I would not do that because I don't want to play into something like a Harpies or like a Twin. People don't play Twin. But I don't want to lose both of my rooms. So he's going to go for a Terraforming into the Pressure Planet. Grab the Unicorn. Special Unicorn, use the effect to grab Birth. Ask if I want to use Unicorn. I'm not going to use it. Normally, I probably would have used it, but just because, like in a normal match, I wouldn't know that he's on Mimighoul. But we're just playing for fun or for like testing. So I'm not going to do it because I know he's on Talents and Thrust and stuff like that. I just don't want to turn it on in case he doesn't have any engine outside of the field spell. Because if the field spell is the only thing he had, then my Imperm's going to be able to stop it. He goes for Dragon, so I'm going to Imperm that. He's going to special out the Fairy into the Giant to search for Room. Doesn't go for the Maker here, which I find a little bit interesting. Because he already uses Normal Summon. The only other extender that you would have at this point would be Armor, but that's not going to get you anything other than a Link play. It's going to activate the Dungeon Search. He's going to grab Arching. Special the Archfiend on my side of the field so he can use the Giant effect to pop the Unicorn. Fine by me. He's going to link off for an SP. SP, force out the back row. Use the Room. We're just going to bring out the Archfiend onto their side of the field. Probably not something you should be doing. But I just want to make sure you can't attack over this Archfiend. Like this probably should have just been Dragon effect, grab Engine. But at this point I have not played in Talents yet still. So I'm just not going to attempt to. Like I'm not going to die or anything, so what's the point? So I draw Slime, I'm going to use the Arching effect, it's going to get rid of the Room. I use the Unicorn effect, grab my Zeus. Which turns on the Thrust. Which grabs this Maker. And then Maker effect. Room Called By. Called By is going to be weird in this matchup just because we both are in the same deck. So if he calls by something, it's going to turn it off for both of us. So I hit the Dragon on his side, use the Archfiend. Archfiend effect. Ask what I was targeting, but it doesn't target. And he tries to banish with the SP, the face down Archfiend, which you can't do. SP needs to do face up cards. So we have to go back on that. So he just decides to get rid of the Unicorn, because if I choose to flip over the Dragon, then nothing gets lost. So we're just going to flip over the Archfiend instead, get rid of the draw he got off of the Archfiend. And we draw into droplets, which is pretty good. Because now when he uses this to Book of Moon my Archfiend, actually, absolutely have no worry here, because I already used the Archfiend effect on my turn, so he can't really do anything by flipping this. It's just gonna stay on my field no matter what. But we're chilling. He's gonna grab Dragon off that follow-up. He has more monsters than me, so I'm gonna use Slime Special to my side of the field. Go for the Giant of my own. Giant effect. And grab the Dungeon. Then we're going to use the Giant to pop. Pop the Birth. Get rid of the follow-up. I already grabbed Dragon, so I'm not going to bother popping the field spell. And I'm going to put up my own field spell anyways, so I'd be under the lock anyways. Use the effect, because we have not normal summoned yet. And I need to droplet to get rid of my face down, so I can actually summon stuff again. We're going to choose to do the Master, because it's going to be the biggest guy on the board. Use the Dragon effect. Dragon's going to search the Maker. I go battle. Completely forget that it's gaining 19 from the field spell, so I just go on. I should have just attacked the Dragon. Went for Zeus. And then when SP comes back, Zeus the whole board. But just kind of forgot about it. So game 2, we're going to choose to go first. We open Master, Judgment, Barrier, Thrust, and Maker. So we don't have too much of a play if the Maker gets stopped. And they have Room, Harpies, Malcharmi, Fairy, and Cerberus. So they don't have really good access to Engine. They have a really good deterrent in the Malcharmi, and a crazy board breaker against Mimighoul in the Feather Duster. So he's going to drop that in standby to play around talents. Fine by me. I'm just going to normal summon the Master then. Don't want to use the Maker to give him a draw. At least not right away. So I'm going to search for the Archfiend. Archfiend effect, go onto his side of the field. Use the Thrust, grab the Terraforming to get the field spell. He forgets that the Archfiend on his side of the field means he has a monster, so I can add to hand. So we're going to use the Dungeon effect to grab the Slime. Slime effect special onto their side of the field. So now we have the two best flip effect monsters. And we're going to set the Judgment and the D-Beer. And it's going to be good enough. The good plays with this deck is all XYZs. So if I can turn that off with the D-Barrier, I'm going to be feeling good. He's going to draw into Dark Ruler no more, which doesn't do much against this board. It's literally just going to turn off the Master, being able to mandatorily flip over his stuff. He's going to Harpies. I'm just going to Judgment that. I want to make him flip over the stuff to make him play, so that I can get a bunch of advantage off of that. And he's just going to scoop after that because he knows he doesn't have a good play without giving me a crazy amount of damage. So game 3. He's going to choose to go first. Open hands, he has Dragon, Master, Armor, Summoning Curse, and Room. I have Dungeon, Thrust, Talents, Maker, and Archfiend. So I have a really strong going second hand. No hand traps though. So he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. Yep. So he's going to normal summon the Master here. I'm not too sure why you want to do that. I think he just wants to use the Summoning Curse and get rid of as many cards in my hand as possible. But I don't know. You're losing so much like follow-up and stuff like that, just to get 3 hand rips that I get to choose. So it's just like, So Summoning Curse, I'm just going to banish the field spell. I have Maker, which is guaranteed plays. And I want to keep these because I know I'm going to be able to turn this on with the Maker. Banish the Archfiend. And then he's going to summon out Dragon. I got to choose something to get rid of, so I just get rid of the Talents, because the Thrust can get me into anything. Then he's going to set the Room. Draw on a Slime. Yep. So I'm going to set the Thrust right away. Because I know if I start flipping stuff over, the first play is going to be room, if he has it, to hand up another card. Which is fine. He's going to summon out the Cerberus onto my side. And then I'm going to get rid of the Slime, Maker's full combo on its own. And then he's going to use the Master effect, flip over the Archfiend. Yep, discard the Maker, which is fine because now we turned on the Thrust. Thrust is going to grab another Maker. No reason that I wouldn't be able to play because none of us have the field to pull up. So there's nothing else on board. The only thing I got to worry about is a hand trap. But if he drew into an Ash, like nothing I was going to add was going to beat that. So just got to think what I need to do. I was going to do Arching Dragon. It's the only thing that's guaranteed. Summoning Curse is going to hit the card out of his hand. And then I don't special summon the dragon off of the Maker because if I special summon it, then it's going to be Chainlink 1 the Curse, and then Chainlink 2 Dragon, so I'd have to get rid of whatever I searched. So I'm going to hold it and then choose to normal summon it, which is going to get us the Dungeon. Dungeon effect, going to grab us a Armor Fairy. Either of those would have been good. Just something that can get me to an XYZ. I just gotta think what I want to do. I go for a Giant here. Use the effect. I need to pop the Dungeon so I can attack. Anything else would not have worked. Nightingale wouldn't work. Yeah, I just wouldn't be able to attack with anything. So I need to go for the Giant to pop this. That's going to give me 1,000 burn, so that's cool. But I'm just going to go battle, hit into the Archfiend, take 600. Yep. Downward Zeus. It's only going to be a 3 material Zeus, but that's fine. The likelihood he's going to be able to out it right away is pretty small. I do have to draw a Maker, a Dragon, or a Field Spell. So actually not that small. But yep, we're just going to Zeus the whole board. I can't wait for him to draw for turn, because the room in the graveyard is going to be able to bounce back stuff, and he'll be able to play from there. So we're just going to Zeus. Put us both on no cards, but I have a big Zeus on field. He draws a Thrust for turn, that doesn't do anything. Draw Raigeki, which doesn't do anything. So battle, hit him for 3k. Main 2, I'm going to set the Raigeki, as if he has something like a Harpy's Feather Duster. Destroying this is going to give me my Zeus material. And he's gonna have to play around this because it's either a not Impulse, Purge, or a Room, all of which would kind of cook him. Draw Summoning Curse, still can't play. Pass back, I draw Imperm, can't play. Hit him for 3k, but now I have an interruption. So now anything like Dragon, stuff like that, isn't going to be able to win him in games. Draws Archfiend. Doesn't do anything, but he can set it to maybe live a turn. I draw a Room. I'm just going to Raigeki, clear it, and go for game. So yeah. Mimighoul mirror matches just are not a fun thing to be doing. It's kind of cool. Like the deck's super fun to play, but when you're playing against it, and you're both like rooming each other's field, it's just, it's such a hindrance, because now you got to think about it, like, what little Mimighouls am I leaving on field at this moment that just lose to room, flip down, summon out Master or Archfiend, and flip it up? It's just like little interactions like that are just super annoying. And like your opponent can like room engrave, bounce back the Mimighouls that you flipped on their field, and then you're not gonna get the bodies. You get them back to hand, but you won't be able to make XYZ plays. Like stuff like that's super annoying to think about. It's not gonna be very likely. The deck's fun, but most of the streamers, like who was it? I think like Josh Schmid put the deck at Rogue, which it pretty much is. But like a lot of people watch those videos to decide what decks they should be playing, rather than thinking like, oh, I enjoy this deck. So it's gonna be like less people playing this. So it's less likely when you go to like a regional, definitely a YCS, that you're gonna see this in a mirror match. But it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a hobby. Like just play the deck you want to play. whatever's more interesting to you. Not this. Profile viewer? Yeah. Just if you're interested, we're at 766 right now, which is 486. We were at 444, but it was so long ago, like almost a week now, that we last did it, where 744 was 444. So everyone's climbed up a lot more. Actually, let's just look at the rankings. Kind of curious, it went up by a lot. Yeah, top rankings are still 1600-ish. Let's see where 1,000 is. 1,000's at 107. So yeah, we're still pretty close to getting into the 100 mark by the time we hit the 1,000 mark. So that's gonna be fun. Gibberto only at 998. And Toast only at 1,000. What is going on? Yeah, I don't know. Look out for the video, the 4th episode of the Climb to 1,000. We're like halfway there. Hopefully it's gonna be like Sunday-ish. If I get it done Sunday, it's probably gonna be uploaded on Monday. Just because I'm gonna have some assignments due. I usually have like 3 or 4 due at the end of the week. So even if I have time to play, I won't have time to record the video and edit it. But yeah, look out for that. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day, everybody.